Hear confessions of Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's City Council meeting. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilperson Diana?
Present.
Councilperson Kazarian?
Present.
Councilperson Figueroa?
Present.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo?
Present.
Councilperson Rosal Martinez?
Present.
Council President Ferry?
Present.
We have quorum.
Thank you. Roll, please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone.
Next item on the agenda is public comment.
Okay, I now open the public comments. None has signed up. Seeing none has signed up. The public comments are now closed. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is approval of records, meeting minutes of June 2025 council meeting.
Has everyone read the minutes?
Yes, actually, I had a few corrections. So for the Mundialito Bowl, my refusal wasn't noted. So I wanted to make sure that the minutes did reflect that. And then under item 5B, where it says under discussion, Councilman Baena. My name is misspelled.
That's all correct. I apologize.
And no worries. And then lastly, just wanted to know as well, on item 6J, it says following her remarks, Council President Pro Tem Rivas will go open the public hearing, but it was for his own ordinance. And so I think maybe following his remarks, so I just those are just some of the things. I'd like to make a motion to amend the minutes with the edits that I just mentioned.
All right, we have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye to the amended minutes.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
We need a motion to now approve the minutes.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion to second.
Sure.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda, Executive Communications, Department Financial Reports, January 2025. We have City Clerk's Office, Department of Public Works and Code Enforcement, Fire Department, and Police Department.
And again, has everyone reviewed those communications?
Yes.
Everybody happy? Happy campers? Looking for a motion to
Make the
approve.
motion.
Okay, second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Motion passes 6-0. The next item on the agenda is new business license. We have an entertainment license per diem. Iglesia Santidad Unicion y Fuego, 101 Dickinson Ave. We have Ms. Elvira Diaz here to speak on that.
Yes.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Very good.
You're back again. This is an annual event, isn't it? You've been here before.
Yeah, I've been here like 2 years ago.
Yeah. As far as I know, and I'm sure the police from back here, we've never had problems with Is there any questions that we have?
No, I have a question. Could you use your private space? Is there any city location? Say thank you. God bless you.
And is that Higginson Avenue?
Yeah, the church is located there.
In some of the events we are located.
Yeah.
Has anyone, any questions?
Just one clarifying question. So is it going to be at the church or at 125 Washington Street?
It's gonna be at my husband's tire shop, which is in back there.
Yeah. So it's at down Washington Street?
Yeah.
Okay, just clarifying.
That's
Will you be changing tires, is that?
No, my husband will go for a couple of hours.
Keep them busy right through the stuff.
Yeah.
Looking for a motion to approve.
I made a motion.
I'll second.
Yes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Say aye.
Thank you.
Best of luck in it.
Thanks.
Sure the weather will be with you.
Thanks.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
The next item on the agenda on the schedule of bills committee and for consideration is resolution approving the Central Falls City Streets roads for all safety action plan. Councilman Rivas, I request.
If Jim wants to come and speak briefly,
Yes.
I think the project speaks for itself. It's for public safety. It's a win-win situation, but if anyone has any questions, I think it's a win-win.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, good evening. Yeah, I'm happy to give a very quick overview of that.
Can I quote you? Quick.
Absolutely.
Let me sit down right now.
So thank you. The resolution that we're being asked to consider this evening would be to approve the Safe Streets for All action plan that is a result of about a year's worth of work done through the Safety Action Task Force with the support of professional transportation planners. Safe Streets for All is a federally funded program. Funding was received by the state for all municipalities to create a safety action plan that met their specific issues at each local municipality. And so through the process of that year-long work that we did with the task force, with input from stakeholder groups and so on, we arrived at the plan that has been distributed to all of you. The ultimate goal is to reduce the number of serious injuries and fatalities, ultimately bringing those down to zero, feeling that everybody should be safe on our local streets. And the plan that has been put together lays out a number of strategies that can be taken. If this plan is approved, we're then eligible to apply for federal funds, earn funds back here in Central Falls to implement a number of these proposed actions.
Any questions? I think it's fantastic. I'll be honest, I haven't gone through the whole liturgy of all the paperwork, but it just looks like a win-win situation. We have nothing to lose, and like you said, it opens the doors to apply for other monies. Anyone else?
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Any promotion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve, Council President.
I'll second.
Discussion? All right, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Best of luck with that.
Thank you.
Passes 6-0. The next item on the agenda is the fiscal year 2026 annual operating budget ordinance, sub A, general fund, carried by request, second reading.
Public hearing now open regarding this particular ordinance. Seeing none signed up, hearing none, public hearing now closed. What is everyone's pleasure?
This is just for the operating budget.
Correct, yeah.
Mr. President,
I'm sorry.
just a point of order, the first order of business would be to entertain a motion to substitute, so that the substitute A, the amended ordinance, and then a second, and then maybe have RJ or Mary explain what changes they made, and then have a vote on that, and then you have a motion to move the amended ordinance to passage.
That's what I thought at the beginning. I didn't know when to actually introduce this subject. Do you need the explanation before we even start, or do you want to insert it where it belongs?
I think if you took a motion to substitute, and then second and under discussion, have them presented, that would be great.
All right, with that explanation, the motion to present the sub A.
I made the motion, Mr. President.
Motion by Rose, is there a second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you, Council President. As I discussed with each council member prior to the meeting, there are 3 sub-A's for the annual operating budget ordinance, and Mary and I are prepared to talk about all of them. But in summary, none of the changes change the underlying budget number, right? So the changes are related to a transposed number in section 2 of the tax levy, and it was advertised correctly in the newspaper, and it just transposed in this document the owner-occupied and non-owner-occupied rate, but all of the roll-ups are still accurate. So that's just a clerical correction. The second sub-A is related to where a position is funded through the budget. So there is a part-time street beautification worker, which has historically been funded through the Parks and Rec Department. It was our intention from a management standpoint, it always made more sense to house that position out of the Department of Public Works. So again, in that case, same allocated cost, right? And we just moved it from the roll-up of the Parks and Rec budget to the DPW budget. The third change is in the Office of Constituent Services with the proposed salary associated with that position. Again, this is a budget neutral change because we negotiated with the city's chief health strategist to reduce by the same amount that we then proposed to increase the salary for the new director position in order to try to make us as competitive as possible in the market for what is a difficult job. So those are the sub-A's within the operating ordinance. Mayor and I have to answer any questions you might have on them.
Are we only asking questions on the one that we just made a motion on? Because there's 3 different documents that we need to go on. I guess, Mr. President, are we only asking questions on the annual operating budget ordinance, or do we ask questions on all 3 different sub-A?
I believe you asked questions this time.
The question that thank you, Arvid, for that background. The question that I have is actually on the wage schedule.
Yeah,
So,
point of clarification, actually, just for the clerk and solicitor. I believe the councilwoman's intending to ask about a sub-A for a separate ordinance. I think it probably makes sense to
that's
wait
why I
until we get to that separate ordinance before. Procedurally, I would assume that is correct.
That's why I asked.
There you go.
The only matter before the council right now is the substitute of this first ordinance.
Which is the
Annual operating budget, right.
ordinance.
Right.
Okay.
Happy to answer that question when it comes up for the subsequent ordinance, yes.
Any questions prior to you?
For this specific one, no, thank you for that
Yep.
context.
Ready for motion?
Council President, I'll make a motion to approve the annual operating budget ordinance.
Secretarian. Roll call vote.
Sorry, Mr. President.
Motion by Kevin, second by Raphael. And roll call vote.
Councilperson Diana,
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian,
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa,
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo,
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez,
Yes.
Council President Ferry.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is ordinance pertaining to the salaries of department heads and others in unclassified services, sub-A, carried by request second reading.
Council President, this is just a companion ordinance with the changes that I outlined in the operating budget. There's the separate ordinance with the, I started speaking too soon.
Who is this with the? Public comment now open. No one signed up. Public comment now closed. pleasure regarding.
Mr. President, we have to entertain a motion to submit the survey.
Okay, we'll look for motion. Regarding salaries. Is there a motion? No? A motion, do we have a second?
I'll say.
All right. Those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's all right.
Motion passes 6-0.
Mr. President, if I may just make a suggestion, I think before voting, we should hear what, like, we should entertain the motion, but then hear the explanation before voting. Because like now RJ's gonna talk about it, but we already voted.
You could do that, you could do it that way, Mr. President, or you
Well,
can.
that's why I asked that, yeah, any questions? You spoke up, you got a second?
Well, I didn't ask because I heard that we needed a motion, so I think, I don't know.
So the presentation should be under discussion, which
Yes.
happens after a motion and after a second. Motion, second, discussion. What
But-
you can now do under the amended ordinance, you can move to approve it and entertain a second and under discussion, RJ could articulate the changes.
Hey, you got the money, you need a chance to say your question.
No, because we voted on it, is what I'm saying. So it was like
You, at this
motion,
time,
second,
do you have any,
discussion,
do you
then.
have any questions regarding such salaries?
No, I thought RJ was gonna come talk about it, but, anyway, you
You wish, RJ?
Good now?
Yeah, sure.
Mr. President, you have to entertain a motion to approve the second and have
It's
discussion.
under discussion, that's what I'm trying to tell you, yeah.
Under discussion.
So we need a
We
motion
have a
and a
motion
second,
under
then
discussion.
under
yes.
discussion.
I made the
Yeah.
motion, I made the motion.
We have a motion. Thank you. RJ, step forward.
Apologies for causing confusion. This change is the companion change, right? So we just amended the operating budget. As I already described in the operating budget, there was a change both to the location of the reporting structure for the part-time street beautification worker and for the total salary for the Office of Constituent and Health. This change to this ordinance is basically a companion, basically just aligning the reporting structure for the part-time street beautification worker, PTBW, and then amending the salary as already approved in the operating budget of the Director of Constituent Services and Health.
Anyone else? Any questions? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilperson Zaina?
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian?
Yes.
Councilperson Pereira?
Yes.
Councilperson Davis Lugo?
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez?
Yes.
Council President Trevor?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda is ordinance amending the wage schedule carried by request, second reading.
Thank you. Public comment now open. No one signed up. Seeing none, hearing none, public comment now open. We have a motion. There's a second to approve.
I'll make a second motion, I'll make a motion to approve.
There's a second. Under discussion.
Yes, this is where I have a question. So the question I have is under section 1 and 2 for police and fire departments. It says that the salaries for the members of the department reflected are the ones that are expiring June 30th of this year. So just, I guess, two questions. One, do we foresee a big change? I know that we're currently under contract negotiations. But this is reflecting a contract that expires before the fiscal year starts, right? So we're approving something that will expire. Or we're approving at a rate that expires on June 30th. So I guess my question again was, do we foresee like a big change in these, in terms of total for the departments? And then two, do we have, a timeline for when we might come into agreement?
I messed up once already. So thank you for the question, Councilwoman. So there's police and fire, neither of which there are signed agreements with, and one is still actively under negotiation, which is why you see the language in there, which basically just reflects the current contract that is in place. All I can say relative to police negotiations, which are the ones that are still active at the moment, is that we believe what we submitted before council and what we budgeted for, which is in line with what we submitted before council, is this responsible and correct budgeting decision to make. But inherent in the nature of negotiations, we can't guarantee for sure where those will land.
Sure, anything more timeline?
The next negotiating meeting is this week, Wednesday. So no, I don't.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Roll call vote.
Councilperson Diana,
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian,
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa,
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo,
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez,
Yes.
Council President Ferry.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda is annual capital program and capital budget ordinance. Very request second reading.
Public comment now open. Hearing none, seeing no sign up, public comment now closed. What is your pleasure?
I'll do the motion to approve.
Sorry.
Councilman Ray. Second by Councilman Seager. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none. Roll call vote.
Councilperson Diana,
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian,
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa,
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo,
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez,
Yes.
Council President Ferry.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. The next item on the agenda is ordinance updating tax classification systems. Very by request, second reading.
Public comment now open. No one signed up to speak. Public comment now closed. Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor, signify under discussion, any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Councilperson Kazarian,
Yes.
Councilperson Diana,
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa,
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo,
Yes.
Councilperson Rosado Martinez,
Yes.
Council President Ferry.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. The next item on the agenda is ordinance creating a youth opportunities council. Councilperson Diana, second reading.
Public comment now open. Hearing none, seeing none, public comment now closed. Everyone, review the evidence, any discussion?
Mr. President, if I may, since I'm the one introducing, just to reiterate, I did say it last meeting, but when we did the first reading, and essentially this is, about connecting things that are already happening in the city, right? So building and clearinghouse of all of the after-school, summer, before-school programs, and making sure there's streamlined collaboration for all. Like I said, it's a way to bring together all of the programs and organizations already out there, so that way we're not duplicating efforts or missing anything, and we could also identify gaps, and just, like I said, have more intentional collaboration. The other thing I would just add, I was on a call this morning and we were talking about getting information out to youth groups, and one of the questions was, is there a master list of all of the programs that are available to CF youth? And the answer was pretty much no, and so having something like this would allow us to be able to have this master list in order to get communications out to families, especially with today's climate when we need to communicate out, and we want to do so in a more direct way. So, just wanted to kind of add that from last meeting. That even this morning, there was a question around, is there a list for all of the after-school programs or all of the organizations that serve CF, and the answer was no. And so my hope is that through this Youth Opportunities Council, we can ensure we have that. As well as, obviously, as I mentioned last meeting, having the opportunity to collaborate, having like a guide for families that we can give them, so that they can find all of the opportunities in one place.
Roll call vote.
So looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion. Second. Roll call vote.
Councilperson Diana?
Yes.
Councilperson Kazarian?
Yes.
Councilperson Figueroa?
Yes.
Councilperson Rivas Lugo?
Yes.
Councilperson Rosal Martinez?
Yes.
Council President Ferry?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0. The next item on the agenda is ordinance creating the Central Falls Combined Planning and Zoning Board, carried by request 7.
Public hearing now open. Right, public hearing now closed. What is your pleasure?
Council President, I'll make the motion to approve.
Is there
I
a
second.
second? Any discussion?
The only thing that I would say is, that we might be saving about $250 because of the dues of all of the different, boards having the planning and zoning. So, anyway, I was gonna ask Mary, and you don't have to have it right now, Mary, but would love to know what the savings are from combining the board at some point.
Okay, I can look at that. I can do that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 6-0. Next item on the agenda is ordinance amending Appendix A of the Code of Ordinances titled Zoning, adopted February 10, 2025, to comply with the state legislation and to include updates throughout as needed from time to time, Sunday, carried by request 7.
comment now open. Begin seeing none, hearing none, public comment closed. Is there a motion on the
I
floor?
need a motion, Mr. President.
I'll second.
Second by
Who's on
all those in favor signify by saying
May-
aye.
May I just
Discussion.
make a note?
Discussion, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Please.
I was just gonna make a note, because on the agenda it says it's sponsored by yourself, Mr. President, but
Yes.
on the actual ordinance it says sponsored by, Councilman Leaders.
Yeah.
We'll make the correction.
Do we have to make a motion to amend?
Yes.
Yes, we
Okay,
do.
so I'll make a motion to amend from,
Motion to amend by Councilman Mayor.
I'll second.
Martinez. All those in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now looking for motion to approve.
I make a motion. I'll second.
Mayor and Rafael. Again, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Motion passes 6-0. Next one, item on the agenda is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to amend. Yeah, I have no.
No lo hago, no lo hago, no.
Mary and I have an answer.
Yeah.
That is most would have approved it, but, there's, yeah.